Badger fans, what's going on? Like every guest we get on the show, I get excited to talk to, but some of them bring a little bit more juice than others. We're going to talk to one of those today on Locked On Badgers. It's going to be a fun one. Let's go.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is going on, Badger fans? Welcome to Locked On Badgers, your team every single day. Really do appreciate everybody tuning in, going live today. Today's episode brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. And we're not wasting any time. Let's get into it again with the great guests. We always run out of time before we run out of questions. We got Mabrey Mettauer, 24 class quarterback coming into Wisconsin out of the Woodlands, 6'6", Well, let me ask you, that's what I got you listed at, 6'6", 220?
228. No.
A good more 8 pounds? Like that's 8 pounds.
Well, I've been 225 for like a year and a half, but they don't like edit any of that.
Dude, well, first of all, thank you for jumping on the show. We got the chat going. We got questions from people. People are very excited to hear more about you. But I want to start here. What was your senior season like? How did you get better this year?
Last February, I moved to Florida. I unenrolled from my high school for about 3 weeks. And so my mom and I moved in Florida. My dad stayed back home because he had to work. And so I trained with my coach, Will Hewitt, in Jacksonville. And so that really grew my game. And then throughout the season, I could tell like the stuff we worked on it really helped. Like what he helped me do, like the things that we worked on, I could see the change in the game. You know what I mean? Like the things I wanted to focus on, I saw them change dramatically. So that was definitely something that was much needed. Like that was great being able to go down there, and I do no school. So I mean, I was just working out for like 5 hours a day.
Well, let's go under the hood there. When you say the things that you kind of saw translate, you need to work on, what specifically were you and your coach in Jacksonville working on?
Just a few mechanic things, and then trying to. So I don't know if y'all know, but I throw the ball pretty hard. So
yeah,
just like being able to slow it down in the right spots, and I mean, it definitely showed. I think it showed. So, but the problem with this season, I just think I got to play like a half or 3 quarters. Like I wasn't playing the whole game. I probably played 2 full games, you know. So that's kind of what I didn't like about this season, just because I like to play every minute of the game, you know. But
some of those, like, talk about that. So some of those games, you started off the year with 2 powerhouses, right?
Yes.
And then you kind of ran into some teams that you overmatched and you were out of the game. How you mentioned it, how difficult is that? But how nice was it to have your scholarship to Wisconsin? You were already kind of locked in and you didn't maybe feel like you had to prove it to anybody.
Yeah, I just think it's more for myself. Like I got to get myself better. I'm not playing for the high school level now. Like I already knew I'm playing in college, so I got to play like I'm a college player. So I was always trying to extend my game in that type of way. But those first 2 games were definitely tough. Played 2 really good opponents, and our team didn't have good enough chemistry at the time. But towards the end, it grew, and I mean, our receivers did their thing, the O-line did their thing. So
let me ask you this. So I talked to you. I told you this before. I've talked to your dad, but I've also talked to a couple of guys over at Rivals, another scout. They kind of gave me a scouting report of your game. I want to give you the scouting report, and you tell me how accurate you think this is. Or
okay. This is from Rivals? This is
from kind of a combination of talking to your pops.
I like Rivals.
John Garcia. They got you higher. Rivals got you higher than 247.
It's Rivals and ESPN. I'm ranked 10th on both of them.
Yeah, so John Garcia Jr. talked about you. I talked to him. He's over at Rivals now. And then I talked to Brian Smith, who does a lot of recruiting work too. Here's the basics of what they said. Huge arm, explosive ability to push the ball downfield accuracy, big, strong physical runner, occasionally takes some shots that he probably can't take at the college level.
Yeah.
Accurate passer, occasionally overthrows the intermediate routes, puts too much juice on it. Thoughts on that scouting report?
I think that was more last year type thing. I think this year, if you watch my games, I think you see me rip the ball in the hole. Like those little 10-yard over routes, I'm drilling those things. And I mean, it didn't have to be hard. I mean, I'm lofting them over the middle linebacker type stuff. But I think that was a good scouting report. But I think now they could probably tweak that a little bit.
That's awesome. So that's growth for you. So how would you think coming off of this year, your coach, maybe it's Coach Rapp is your head coach, right?
Yes, sir. That's him.
What do you think he would say in a scouting report about you?
I think he would say I'm a tough player. I mean, I definitely bring grit when I walk on the field. Like I strive to. I'll do anything for my team. Like I'm a competitor. I do not like to lose. Like I'll put it all on the field. Like we were down 7 points. There's like a minute and a half left, and it's 4th and 5 or something like that. And it was to make the game or lose the game, right? And so I throw out route to my receiver, get the first down. We can still play. Now it's 4th and 2, and my coach calls a run to me. I'm like, all right, bet. And so it's 4th and 2. I take it 30 yards. So now we're on like the 5-yard line, and we're still down by 7. And then we ended up winning that game by 1 point. So I just think I'm a big competitor.
Let me ask you about the running game, because that is something when you watch film, watch you play in huddle, which is really impressive, by the way. How hard is it as a 6'5", 6'6", 228-pound athlete to not take all those shots? Because as a quarterback, your biggest thing, you have to stay healthy.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think you just got to know what you can take and what you can't. Like sometimes I'll jump over people if I don't want to hit them.
I saw that play. How many times have you successfully done that, and how many times have you successfully not hurdled the dude?
Okay, no, non-successfully it was one time, and then I've hurdled 4 people.
Wild, dude. I've seen some of those clips. You know they don't want you to do that in the Big Ten.
No, yeah.
All right, let me get a couple of these comments here really quick.
All right, let's see.
Questions. Again, we're
Are
not
you gonna pin them up here so I can read them?
Yeah, for sure. So this is from Logan. He says, Mabrey, I do have to read it because some people watch this and some people listen. Mabrey, welcome to Wisconsin. Besides Phil Longo, what drew you to Wisconsin?
So before Coach Longo, my brother, he's offensive lineman at Oklahoma, and so I got the offer at Wisconsin. I was like, yeah, I like it. And first Big Ten offer, and my only Big Ten offer. And so, because more of my school is more like SEC, Big 12 type stuff, ACC. But when I got that offer, I was really excited. It was my first Big Ten, and then my brother was like, "You really need to take a visit up there. They have great O-linemen, obviously." So I'm like, I'm already intrigued. I'm like, let me get up in there. Let me see.
Love it.
So Coach Chris and Coach Leonard, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he's a great guy. I liked him a lot. So I went up there against the Washington State last year.
Not a pretty game.
They ended up losing, yeah. But I love the town. I mean, the town was very nice. I wasn't expecting that, but it reminds me kind of home. Like it's like Austin kind of, because it's the state and state capital or whatever. And so that intrigued me. And then just like how much the fans are in with the football team, I love that a lot. That drew me a lot, was having 85,000 people at the game. That's awesome. Not a lot of people get to play under that.
That's true. Adamato says, let's go. Slim Lewis says, Mabrey, psyched to have you in Madison. Let's win a natty.
Let's do it.
Logan says, true or false? Well, he didn't say true or false, but I'm going to add it on there. You're going to lead us to 4 national championships. Let's set the bar high here.
True. That's what I like. I like setting the bar high. But let's try to make it 3 years. I just want to be 3 and out.
Yeah, let's be realistic here. Let's just get 3 chips. Fall 56 says, favorite thing about Madison? You mentioned it. It reminds you of Austin. Anything else stick out to you about Madison?
I think the Capitol is very pretty. I think when the snow's down and the Capitol is just, I think when you're on State Street and you're looking up the alley and you see the Capitol, it's just like every time my friends are like, how's Madison or whatever, that's the first thing I bring up is the Capitol being right, because nothing can be built higher than that little top part, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and all roads lead to it.
Exactly. So that's one of the main things. And then I love the lakes and stuff. That's pretty sweet.
All right, let me bang out some of these. We got a bunch of comments as well from the.
How many people do we have on?
We got 80 right now, and we just
sweet.
Like I told you, listen. If I went live, there'd be 7. I say Mabrey's on here, there's gonna be 80. You're a bigger draw than I am. Here's one for you. I want to ask you this. Let's talk scheme a little bit. This is from Paul B over on the Discord, or this is from the subtext actually. What is the one thing you think you need to work on to succeed at the college level?
What is one thing I need to work on? I think as a player, you always got to grow your game, but mentally, because defenses in college are nothing like defenses in high school. So that's a change for any quarterback when you go into college. I mean, you're going from high school to college. So I think mentally with the defensive game. But I
Okay.
mean, as a quarterback, I think I do a pretty good job at reading. I only threw 1 interception, and that was my last game.
What? Well, whose fault was it on the pick? Was it yours?
Yeah, I should have looked off the free safety, and he jumped it. I tried to throw in a line drive. We're playing Duncanville, and I tried to throw in a line drive like a right on a rope. And this kid, I'm telling you, flies in like a hawk and just I was so mad
It
because
still
I was literally had 0 picks the whole season, and then that happened, and I was like, oh my gosh.
it still ticks you off. I can tell.
Yes, I hate it.
If you're playing a video game and that happens, you just rage quit, man. But you can't do that on
Yeah,
the
you
field.
break the control, you throw that thing.
No, I'm done. I'm done. I got no picks. I'm quitting this game and starting over. Did you make up your mind before the throw where you were going on that play? Do you remember?
Okay, so it's like an alert route. How Coach Longo, that's like kind of teaching me the offense a little bit. So we call it the alert, and so I saw it. We had a little out route from the slot, and then the wideout was running a go ball, and it was a 1-on-1. And I trust my wideout. He's a dog, and so if that dude didn't fly, if I would have read the free safety and brought him to the left side of the field, just a teeny, like a little bit, it would have been right there. Like it would have been right there for him to go score. But sometimes you forget to do things.
I think it's impressive, man, that you can re-diagram that play. Like such a big part of being a quarterback is between the years, as you know, and being able to look back and think of the coverage, what you did wrong. I think that's really impressive. I think it's well for you. Let's see. What do you think? This is from Zach. He says, "What do you bring to the quarterback room that maybe sets you apart from other quarterbacks? Maybe not just in Wisconsin, but in general. What's different about you?"
I think I'm a big body that's also a dual threat. I'm not like a regular pro style quarterback. I mean, if you look at me, you're like, oh, he's a pro style. But once you watch me play, then you'll see where the dual threat part comes out.
Let's talk recruiting. What does it feel like when someone says Mabrey Mettauer, Wisconsin Badgers commit?
I love it.
Awesome. That's a great answer. How do you, and I asked this, we had Emilio Agard on the show the other day, and I asked him, how do you go from getting X amount of offers, right? Because you had a lot of schools talking to you. How hard is it to narrow it down? Even though you went to Madison, you like Longo, you love the city, it's still got to be incredibly hard to say, all right, no to.
It is definitely very hard because I had to call coaches and be like, hey, because I want to be respectful to them because they spent their time recruiting me, and so. And if I'm not going there, I'm going to respectfully tell them. So I had to call a few, and it was rough. Like, I didn't like it. But you have to be a man sometimes.
How many schools, and certainly not going to ask for any names or coaches, but how many schools continue recruiting you after you say, hey, I'm going to go to Madison and I'm shutting it down? Does it mostly?
I probably had like 5.
Okay.
5.
So that it doesn't fully die off.
No, it doesn't die off. But, like, literally everyone pretty much knew. Like Coach Longo and I were pretty much like everyone pretty much knew that, like a bunch of the coaches. So they a lot stood off after that. Because I mean, I was going to go to North Carolina with him.
Yeah.
Like literally everyone in the Woodlands. When I set out my commitment, they didn't know Coach Longo was going to Wisconsin. Like half did and half didn't. And so it was either Wisconsin, North Carolina for everybody here. And everyone's like, no way, I thought you were going to North Carolina. I was like, psych, got you.
What is it about Longo? Because he, in the short time he's been at Wisconsin, like obviously recruiting yourself, but also bringing in really high-level transfers. What is it about him that is so appealing for a quarterback?
I mean, you just look at the people he's produced, like the pedigree. I just think he produces great quarterbacks, and they end up in the NFL. So I think that's what drives people to him in the air raid.
When you guys meet, because we had talked previously, and he was actually on your way. You guys were having dinner. What are your meetings like when you guys are doing kind of one-on-one talks?
I mean, it's about life, regular talking, and then obviously, like we're talking, and I just pulled him to the side. I was like, all right, let me draw this play up for you real quick to make sure I know. Like while he was at my house, we're in the dining room table. I pull out a piece of paper. I was like, let me see if this is right real quick, and I just start drawing X's and O's.
Who are you most? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. And then 2 days ago, Coach Fickle came down, and I took him. He's been telling me to take him to go shooting, and so we were going to go to my ranch, but it rained pretty good, and so we went to this skeet shooting place. But it's like a golf course, so you ride a golf cart, to the holes, and it was fun. I'm about to make a TikTok video about it. It was pretty fun.
How did he do?
He did pretty good. He did pretty good. I mean, I was popping those things.
Yeah. Talk to me about, because you mentioned your ranch. You guys were able to host some of the other 24 prospects, kind of bring them to your house, right, and get to know them. What was that like? Who was there, and how important is that?
So I invited probably like 5 or 6 of them, but Kevin and Landon came down, and we took them to our lake house, actually, which is like 30 minutes from here. And we're trying to Landon knew how to wake surf, but Kevin, he's huge, so I was trying to teach him how to wake surf, and he did not want to give up. He kept getting drowned by the water. He was just getting like waterboarded.
It's amazing. But
I had a great time. Like that's when I knew I was like, I want Landon to be my roommate, and he felt the same way. So we're like, let's do it.
That's awesome. Talk to me about more of that 24 class. Who else do you talk to a lot, and are there kind of shared goals amongst you guys?
I mean, I think a lot of us share the same goal. We're his first, Coach Fickle's first class, so that's exciting. You know, we're his first class at Wisconsin, so that's super exciting. And then also, I talked to Kion a lot, and then let's see, Kevin, Ryan, Grant, Landon. I haven't really. It's been a while since I talked to a few of them, just because we live so far apart and we're all super busy. I mean, because my season lasts way longer than a lot of the Midwest kids, because we're in Texas. Like, the state championship's playing right now.
Dude, I talked to Grant. I had Grant on the show, and I said, hey, do you think I could ever get Mabrey on the show? And he said, I don't know, man. That dude's super busy. And that was coming from
love Grant.
I was like, I'll try. But he's like, yeah, that dude's way too busy. I'm like, well, thanks, Grant. So I do, like I said, I do appreciate it.
Of course. It's fun.
Talk to me about goals coming in. And this is a question from, let's see. This is a question from, I lost it. But the question was, what is your goals coming in? Because you are enrolling early. What are your goals coming in as a freshman?
Obviously, I'll learn the playbook right now, but fully learn the playbook. And then I just want to go in there and compete. That's why I'm going in early. I mean, why else would I go in early, you know?
Is that
not to be like that, but like I think most quarterbacks are starting to go in early, and so I think give me a head start from the kids coming in June. So,
is it difficult to? You mentioned you still have friends that continued on in high school. Is that difficult to say I'm going to end this chapter a little earlier?
I mean, not really. I mean, obviously, I love my friends. I mean, they're downstairs watching the state game while I'm on here, so I mean, they're fine. I mean, but I've grown up with them. We're gonna be fine, but a lot of them want to come visit me, so it'll be all right.
Any receivers in that group? I know there's one in the 25 class.
Yeah, Cornell. Yeah, he's coming to my grad party tomorrow. Yeah, there's 2 receivers downstairs. I mean, we went to elementary school with them, so
that's awesome. Let me bang out a couple more of these comments, because again, it's fun to be able to connect these. This is from Mikey, and this is a question people always ask about kids. Are you nervous about the cold?
I mean, it's definitely different from where I'm from, just because I literally was scrolling through my chats with Landon, and I like took a picture and the temperature on it, and it was like 106. I was like, shoot. But then I'm like thinking, all you really need to do is just add layers.
That's it.
I mean, my mom and I were in Costco, and we're over there in the bins getting gloves, getting thermals and all that stuff, so it's fine. At first it did worry me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, now I'm fine. I mean, you only experience it for a few years, so it's fun.
There's not many better things than playing football in the snow either.
Yeah, I've never done it. I mean, the best quarterbacks come from places like that. Like Tom Brady played in the snow almost his whole life, so
yep, I think you're gonna be fine there. Steve Mitchell says, are you looking forward to starting against Alabama this year? Again, we're just competing. We're coming in to compete. That's all it is. I always find this interesting, because a lot of players, and I don't even necessarily think it's a good or a bad thing, but they go to places that don't have a lot of quarterback talent, or whatever their position is, because they don't want necessarily to compete, right? They want an easier road to playing time, which makes sense. I mean, it's a business decision. You're coming into a quarterback room with a lot of other talent. Did you weigh that in your decision, or was that not a big deal to you?
It's not a big deal. I'm just going there to compete. So I don't think that's a big deal.
Falls 56. Who are you most excited to play with? Maybe in the current receiver room or quarterback room?
Kion for sure. I almost played 7-on-7 with them for a few tournaments. I'm super pumped to throw to him. I think that's gonna be fun.
What's his
I mean,
game?
because when I was up there for a game, he was like, "You want a room?" I was like, "Well, I would have, but you're late to the party, man."
You got Landon.
But I'll see Kion down the hallway, so it's cool.
What's as a quarterback? This is an interesting perspective, man. What is his game like that when you watch film of him? What excites you about
I
that?
mean, he's a stud. I mean, he's one-handed stuff. I mean, that's all a quarterback could ask for. Someone with sticky hands, you know.
Let's see. This is from Jason. This is a good question. What kind of leader are you? How do you deal with adversity?
All right, I'll give you all a story on some adversity. So the first 2 games were pretty rough. Played some, I mean, a team that's playing the state championship right now, and then we played a team that only lost 1 game. So we played some really good teams. My first 2 games, we went 0-2, and like I would walk into school, people like bullying me and stuff. I read my texts, I read my DMs and stuff, and
Wait,
like
people
my
were
own
booing you
school's
in
turning
school?
on me. My own school's turning on me.
Wait,
So
we gotta really quick. I never tried, but people were booing you in school.
yeah, like I mean, there are people that want to be in my position.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to be like that, but and then so I'll go to the pep rally, and so the captains go up there and we're like, "Hey, we're just talking about the game we're about to play the next week," and so we're 0-2 at the times, and I'm talking at the pep rally, and I say my name, and I get booed. I'm like, all right, well, I was like, it's whatever. It's like I get to the locker room, our team has a meeting, and I sit them down. I'm like, I'm sorry what the past 2 games have been, but I'm gonna let y'all know right now I'm gonna have the best game of my life. And I'm like, I know some of y'all might not believe in me in here, but y'all don't have to because I believe in myself. And so that next game, the next day, or that day, I broke the school passing record for 425 yards, and I ran for 103 yards, and I had 7 touchdowns. And then that's when I got the Ford Player of the Week, which is the best 6A Player of the Week of Texas. So I think dealing with adversity, I think you need that. And then I really dug down into my faith because at that time, you don't like being booed by people like you're like friends with and stuff, or people not believing in you is kind of tough just because no one knows how much pressure some people have on them. But because what I brought from that was I'm playing for God, not for man. So
Well, talk to me about your faith because that's something you have talked about. It's a huge part of your life, both on and off the field. Where have you always leaned on that, and where does that come from for you?
yeah, so I mean, my parents growing up have put a great foundation of Jesus around me. Going to church, but I mean, obviously that's not what gets you to heaven, but they've definitely helped me grow my relationship, and obviously leading to go to college. I mean, you got to have a good foundation before you leave because you're on your own. So right when I get there, I'm gonna get plugged in a fellowship Christian athletes or find a church or something.
That's awesome, man. And one of the things we talked about before the show, and again, there's no way we're going to get to all the comments here, which I apologize to everybody listening, but we do run out of.
How many viewers do we have?
We got 120, and
Sweet.
I'm running out of. Again, I told you would draw more than I would, no doubt about it. One of the things I found interesting talking to you before the show, you mentioned you have to almost live a certain way when you're in the spotlight, right?
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about that. What is it like being a quarterback, a Division I athlete in Texas, 6A football? What are some of the decisions you have to make that are atypical for a kid?
I mean, just you have to know what you can do and what you can't. Just because everyone wants to get you in trouble, like everyone's out to get you. I say that, but just because people want to see your downfall, you know, that's just how I feel. And I'm sure, like, if you ask Kyle, he would say the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just because high school kids, you know, a lot of them pretty much do whatever they want, but I kind of have to stay away from a lot of that stuff because I don't want, just because for my own good, because I'm not really a partier. There's no point to do that, you know, so you definitely have to live different from other high school kids.
All right, you ready for a lightning round? Quick fire questions.
Yeah, let's go.
We'll do that, and then we'll wrap it up with a couple more comments. All right.
Sounds good.
Here's one for you. Let's start here. Comfort food.
Comfort food, like what's my favorite food?
Yeah, what do you go to when you need something to make you feel better?
Ooh. Sushi or steak. I'm a big sushi steak guy.
Coach, the biggest influence a coach has made in your life. Who is that coach?
That's a hard one. Will Hewitt.
Okay. The worst game you've ever played.
Oh, let me think. Jeez. I'll probably say Lamar, my second game.
How bad was it? What happened? Why was that the worst game you've ever played?
It was just hard. Like, our chemistry wasn't down, Like, we're breaking routes too early or too late. And I'm trying to throw people open. And, obviously, I'm going to take blame for that. But
this one's from Badger Thays. Who do you model your game after? Like a professional quarterback, college quarterback?
Josh Allen. I like the way he runs. I like the way he throws. He's big body like me, but he's obviously way bigger than me.
Well, you got a couple years still. Deputy says, what's your favorite video game?
I don't really play video games, but since Fortnite released the OG season, I've been playing a lot. So I'm asking for Christmas the new Xbox and stuff.
Love it. Is Texas high school 6A offenses, are they better than Iowa's offense?
Yes. I think Texas high school football in any type of way can beat pretty much almost every state.
It's legit, no doubt about it.
I mean, the Duncanville where I was playing against 2 5-star ends and 2 4-star D linemen. So I mean, you don't really see that anywhere else.
No, I agree.
And I tore my groin the first run I had, so I was pretty much like a sitting duck that game.
How painful was that on the 1
Oh
to 10?
my gosh! I was on the sideline, I had to take off my pants, and the trainer's wrapping this wrap around my leg in front of everybody to tighten up, and I'm like I can't even run.
But you're 18, so if you do that when you're 37, I played basketball the other day, I felt like somebody snuck into my room and beat me with doorknobs the next day. You're at least you have youth on your side.
Yeah.
What is your hidden talent outside of football? What's something you're good at?
Something I'm good at. Well, I used to hoop. I used to play basketball. Yeah, I stopped. Junior year was the first year I didn't play. So I like to play basketball, pickleball. I like to shoot, fish.
Those are very Texas things. You can do a lot of fishing in Wisconsin, shooting in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I want to shoot a big buck. I want to shoot a whitetail. So if any of y'all in the chat have a ranch that y'all can take me to, let me know.
Awesome. What about ice fishing? You intrigued?
I've never done that. I'm actually pretty curious about that.
Okay, you're gonna find
at least one time. I feel like you gotta try it at least one time.
Okay. This is from Mike. What's your number gonna be in Madison?
I want to be 7.
Okay. How about this nickname? You would like? Do you have a nickname you go by? I always see
people call me Mabes. People call me Mabes.
Yeah. Better than Baby Trevor Lawrence. I always see that Baby
Lawrence.
No.
Okay. Baby, people call me Baby Trev, but I'm about to go to college. Y'all gotta stop that now.
Yeah, you gotta be your own guy. Big Ten team you're most looking forward to playing?
Minnesota.
Let's go. You know that's a huge deal, right? You've learned all about this. Love it. I think we'll wrap it there, man. Again, I would try to keep these around 30 minutes. I never want to take too much time. We do have a couple questions about our boy Rob Booker. You can just blink twice if you think that there's good news there.
Okay.
And this one says him and his dad. I mentioned his dad was on the show. Noda Whale says his dad are obviously intelligent, good people. So,
thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on the show. Mabrey Mettauer, as always, we really do appreciate the time. And we always finish with this. Any last message for Badger fans?
I can't wait to come out there and compete. Can't wait to be a part of the team, and I appreciate all y'all jumping on. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. He is Mabrey Mettauer. Thank you so much for the time on Wisconsin, and we'll talk again tomorrow.
Yes, sir.